There's two key parts that I want you to focus on that we're going to turn into one movement, and here's how it works. When you take your setup position, I want you to key in on where the butt of the club and where your left elbow point. And what I would like to see for the perfect backswing is for the butt of the club and your left elbow to point at your body during your takeaway. So from the time I take my setup until the hands get just past my right thigh, I want my elbow and butt of the club pointing towards me. And I want it to go from pointing towards me to feeling like it's pointing down towards the ground on about my toe line. So elbow and butt of the club towards me, elbow and butt of the club down towards the ground. Hey guys, Eric here outside at the Don Law Golf Academy at beautiful Osprey Point Golf Club in Boca Raton, Florida. Now in today's video, we're going to talk about one simple trick to fix your backswing forever. And I mean it, there's really one thing that we could focus on to really change your backswing, and it's really easy to implement. We're going to talk about that momentarily. Now before we do dive in, make sure you do click that little gray thumbs up button down there. That like button really helps us out. Click the subscribe button if you haven't, and leave a comment down below. Leave a comment about what you think about this video, some things you'd like to talk about. Let me know if you've ever tried this in your swing. Once we get into it, leave some comments. Let's keep the conversation going down below. Also, before we dive in, I do want to make sure you check out CogornoGolf.com. That's where we can work together on your game. That's where we can have our online golf lessons where you can send us in your golf swing. And the lessons are super effective. It's really how you take your game to the next level beyond these YouTube videos. Having the structured plan, having us being able to look at your swings and provide you specific, detailed, guided feedback beyond just these videos is really what you need. I would love to work with you. We'll put a link to Cogorno Golf down in the description down below. So, perfect backswing, and one simple trick to make this backswing and fix your backswing. What is it? Let's dive right into it. There's two key parts that I want you to focus on that we're going to turn into one movement, and here's how it works. When you take your setup position, I want you to key in on where the butt of the club and where your left elbow point. And what I would like to see for the perfect backswing is for the butt of the club and your left elbow to point at your body during your takeaway. So from the time I take my setup until the hands get just past my right thigh, I want my elbow and butt of the club pointing towards me. And I want it to go from pointing towards me to feeling like it's pointing down towards the ground on about my toe line. So elbow and butt of the club towards me, elbow and butt of the club down towards the ground. Here would be the bad version. Elbow and butt of the club away from me. So elbow towards the target, butt of the club towards the target. Elbow and butt of the club towards the wall. So it looks like this. Butt of the club and elbow towards me, butt of the club and elbow towards the ground. Let's go ahead and hit one here just to demonstrate what that looks like. Elbow and butt of the club towards the ground. So there we saw that motion. It works with all the clubs through the bag. Those are the feels we need. Now, why is this important in general? Well, hopefully you can see between the good and the bad version that dramatically changes the swing plane. And that's the most important part during the backswing. Let's watch this one more time, starting with the butt of the club. If the butt of the club stays pointed towards me early, that gets the club head in line nicely outside the hands. And then if the butt of the club gets pointed towards the ground, that gets my shaft angle on the ball target line or just inside, so slightly vertical like we want. Now what would the bad look like? The bad would look like butt of the club towards the target too early. Notice too much forearm roll, club head inside the hands, and then butt of the club towards the wall, too flat. Now my lead elbow goes along with that as well. So my lead elbow pointing towards my body keeps the club head beautiful during the takeaway. My lead elbow pointed towards the target gets the club head inside. My lead elbow pointed away gets it even farther inside. Now if my lead elbow points towards the wall, there I'm super flat on the way back. So both the butt of the club and my left arm pointing towards the target or away from me will get me too flat. Why does that not work, and why is that a problem? When I make my backswing and the club head gets inside and too flat, 98 times out of 100, I'm gonna get too steep, too over the top during the downswing. If we wanna have a perfect backswing and a perfect club plane, we wanna do those pieces. Two other quick things here just for clarification. At your setup position, you've got some options. I would like the butt of the club to point just inside your left hip. That part's fairly universal. The left elbow can point a little more towards the target, especially if you've got a stronger grip. It can point a little bit more towards you if you've got a weaker grip. You've got some margin of error, but I do want it pointed towards you during the takeaway and pointed towards the ground during the backswing. And the last final piece I want you to understand of why this works is we've got forearm rotation and we've got shoulder rotation. And a lot of times during the backswing, when the club gets under plane, we blame that on too much forearm rotation. Certainly that's part of it. If I held my thumb up towards the sky and you do this with me, I put my thumb to the right or my thumb to the left, that would be forearm rotation. I can do that independent of elbow motion. But at some point I run out. If I want to get my left thumb all the way towards the ground, you see now my elbow's got to change. That's shoulder rotation. So the bad during the backswing would be too much forearm rotation, my thumb going from straight forward to behind me. The good would be my thumb stays pointed away from me and then towards the sky. And the same thing with the elbow. Elbow towards me, elbow towards the ground. So that is the one simple trick that you might not have heard before about the elbow piece and how you do it during the backswing. It works with all clubs. If you guys like this video, we're gonna put a card on the screen for a similar YouTube style video. Of course, if you wanna work with me at cogornogolf.com, you really want a structured plan to take your game to the next level, and you wanna work with us and do online lessons where equally as or more effective as our in-person lessons, I would love to work with you. Go ahead and click that logo on the screen. Would love to see you there.